All right, so now we're going to do Spa Highlife Control Panel 101. Now what you have here is you have your home screen. So a lot of times you can just wake up your control panel just by tapping it. The one thing to note is that when we put it in the dock, you'll actually see this little lightning bolt that's it's charging. The other thing is, if it's been a long time since you've used your hot tub, you might have to tap it, and it might take about 10 seconds for it to resync with the spa because it goes to sleep. Kind of like waking up your computer, if you would. So when we're looking at this, we have your current displayed temperature. So this here is the current temperature of the spa. We just filled this thing up not that long ago, so it's rising to what the temperature is when I tap this screen. So if I tap this, you can see my set temperature is 102, and to increase or decrease this temperature, I can just use these arrows here. Now you'll notice you'll get to 104, and as I keep tapping at 104, nothing's happening. There is an override, so if you like it really hot, you can do so. It turns blood red though if you do that, because that's really hot. Remember, you're basically giving yourself an artificial fever when you get a hot tub. So if you're getting that at 106, just be careful. And probably drink water more than beer. So we're gonna go back to 102 because we're, normal humans here. So anyway, that's how you adjust your temperature. You have your jets icon here. So if you want to turn on your jets, this hot tub is actually equipped with two jet pumps. One actually has a dual speed, one's a low speed, and then a high speed. That's primarily for the fountain equipped on this hot tub. So again, if I want high speed, I can click that, or if I want the other one on, I can click that, or I can hit this power button and have both of them off, hit this power button, and both of them turn on to high speed. So that's how your jets work. Here's your salt system. Again, we kind of discussed this and how it operates here. So we're not going to touch base on this too much, but you can always test your salt system connectivity by tapping this button here. You can adjust your output level by touching this one. Again, this should be as low as possible while maintaining water that looks crystal clear like this. Your boost cycle, and if you want to change your cartridge at any time, you can tap this button here and say OK. Now, the fun part, we get to the lights. So they're actually LEDs, they're not incandescent lights like here. We have some preset moods. You cannot change the moods. The moods are just preset. So if I hit mood 2, I happen to know it's my favorite mood out of all of them. They change the exterior or the top side lights. Sorry, the top side lights turn to an aqua or a teal type color. The bottom light turns on to purple, and the exterior lights turn to a white. But you can kind of play around with them to see what they're like, or you can change all the lights to one color. You can dim them. There's actually 5 levels of dimness on this thing, so if you want barely any lights at all, you can do that. Or if you want to go crazy, you can actually adjust individual zones of the lights. So you can actually see my Under Wonder light I have on purple. If I want that blue, I can change that to blue. If I want my bar top, like my diverter valves, or where the speakers would be if you had the music system on, if I wanted those green, I can change that to green. I could also dim that to a different level. If I want my pillows to be on a rotating color, that's what we call rainbow or wheel. Now those are changing colors, and if I wanted exterior to be on something else like yellow, I could do that. Now what's really neat about this system is you can actually turn off the underwater light. Like if you only wanted to see where your drinks are, you could actually dim that all the way and turn it completely off and only have your top bar side lights on. That way you're not going to knock your drink over. Or if you just wanted the exterior lights on, you could do something like that. What's really cool about this remote though, is you can actually hit this memory button and hit save. And now whatever I have it on right now, it's going to go back to that feature. So if I mess it all up, so I say I have these jets on, I have, I'm going to change it to a different mood. We're going to go to mood 2. So all the lights are different. I have these jets on, put those off. If I go back to memory and I hit restore, it's going to go back to the features that I had when I hit save. So my top side or my bottom light is off, but my top ones are on, my pillows are on a wheel, top ones are on green, and the exterior is on a wheel as well. So that's how the remote kind of works here. We also have our clean cycle. Again, this is that 10-minute jet cycle, perfect for skimming the water after you're done using it, or it's perfect for doing water care as well. You'll notice that it says there's an auto clean cycle. So if you enable that, if I change that to on, I think you actually have to to hold that down to actually turn it on. There we go. Now every 24 hours, the jets are actually going to turn on by itself. So if you're not using the spa a lot, that's not a bad feature to have. If you're using the spa at least once every week or even once every 2 weeks, I would encourage you not to have that feature on, just because there's enough water moving through the jets. You don't have to worry about stagnant water that looks nasty. Oops, turn that off and turn the lights back on. So that's the clean cycle. We're going to turn that off. There's no need for us to have it on. This is in the middle of the showroom. It's on often enough. Then finally, you have your settings tab. You'll notice there's temperature lock, spa locks, lights timer, summer timer on the first screen. Temperature lock, if I enable that, and I think these you also have to kind of hold down here. So you can see I turned that on. Will basically mean if you go back to the main screen, you'll see there's a little padlock in the top corner. Now I can't adjust it up or down. So if you have kids or you have nosy neighbors that you know will mess with your settings, you can enable that. And unless they know how to turn it off by going into the settings, again, they got to hold their finger on this to actually turn it off. Now you also have spa lock. And again, you got to hold it down and you can actually see now that's enabled. I can still scroll. Well, I can't really scroll the menus. Like I can touch things, but nothing is happening. A lot of people panic and they go, I think my controller's dead. That's not the case. You want to go into settings. And again, you can still go into settings and you can actually turn it off by holding it down. That's all you can do in that. There's a lights timer as well. What a lights timer is, it's not for interior lights. It's actually for exterior lights. So if you love the exterior lights on your spa, I do on mine. It's part of my landscape lighting. You can turn on the lights that you like. So if you want it to be on a rainbow, if you want it to be white or green or red because it's Christmas or whatever it might be, you can actually go out there, turn on those lights, and then turn on the lights timer. And what that will do is every 24 hours, it's going to turn on at that specific time for 5 hours and then turn off. So that's what your lights timer is. Now, if someone messes with your lights timer, it could mess up with, like if you have kids and they are changing the lights when it's supposed to turn on, that can might mess things up. There's summer timer, never turn it on. I'm just going to tell you, we wish we could take it off the menu. All it does is mess up your water chemistry. Just never use it. Finally, if you want, you can change it to Celsius if you really want to. We're in America, so we don't even know what that is. And then lastly, we have brightness. Now brightness is you'll see it's auto. We're talking about this controller. This is a sensor right here. So it's going to adjust based on how bright it is outside. If you're in the middle of the day and the sun's shining down on it, it's going to make it as bright as possible. If it's in the middle of the night, it's also going to make it not nearly as bright. But one of the cool features about this is some people really dislike how bright this logo light is. And there's actually a way to lower the brightness without actually going into the software or the hardware of the jumpers or anything like that. You can actually you can go into this setting again. We're going to go into brightness and we're going to hold the auto button and you'll actually see it says now logo light. So if I have this right up against it, I can actually lower the dimness of the logo light. So it can make it really dim. Sometimes people really just don't like how bright this thing is, and you can do that right from there. And that is your control panel in a nutshell. Again, there's probably some things that I missed, but if you have any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, and we'll talk to you next time.